Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning in once again to Queen Ahmadiyyah TV Presents Beyond the Realm. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you have not done so. Be sure to click the notification bell and click the word all so that you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. Okay, so let's get into it, people. Okay. Oh, all right, so we're going to talk about BLUCIFER. Some of you may have heard about him before. You may have heard me talk about him on my old channel, the one that got terminated. All right, so let's get into it. BLUCIFER, the story of Denver Airport's Blue Mustang sculpture from Luis Jimenez. Okay. Now, when it comes to Denver International Airport, or the DIA, there are many people who believe there are conspiracy theories floating around. Everything from the barbed wire fence along the perimeter facing inwards, supposedly that keeps hypothetical prisoners within, some dark subliminal messaging that could be extracted from the mural painted on the larger walls scattered throughout the terminals. This has all been theorized. However, one of the stories that has risen since the inception of the DIA is complete fact. It's not a conspiracy theory, though some people think it is. It is, in fact, true. The story of the Blue Mustang, known as BLUCIFER. More notably, the residents dubbed it BLUCIFER, and this story is 100% true. The same sculpture that cannot be missed by visitors to the DIA, which sits proudly in the median of the Pena Boulevard, linking the airport to the city. It's most renowned for its acts of patricide. More simply, in the process of being made, BLUCIFER unsuspectingly killed its maker. That's right. The man who was creating October Opus has never heard of BLUCIFER. Okay, well, it's at the Denver airport, and you can see it. It's huge. And the person, the sculptor who created BLUCIFER actually, there's screw tube acting up, people. All right, so with that all being said, the statue was originally commissioned to be built by the city of Denver in the mid-1990s, when the current Denver International Airport was being established. Now, the airport itself was thought unneeded by some, completed unreasonably over budgeted, and woefully behind schedule. The statue was completed behind schedule and unveiled at the airport in 2008. Now, as the story goes, while the artist Luis Jimenez was working on this famous Blue Mustang, his largest commissioned pieces to date, and a commission from the city of Denver to be placed outside its recently built airport, a section of the 32-foot tall, 9,000-pound cast fell on him, severing an artery in his leg. So it literally fell on him and severed an artery in his leg. You know that artery can cause you to bleed to death. So it goes on to say the wound ended up, unfortunately, killing him. And the sculpture had to be finished posthumously by his family, friends, and professional lowriders and race car painters, Richard Lovato and Camilo Nunez. Now, despite the sculpture having to be finished by those close to Jimenez, the piece was actually very near completion upon the artist's untimely death. Only some of the painting needed to be finished. Then it was sent to California to be assembled and then sent back for its final placements. Now, the vivid blue coloring all over the animal, anatomically correct figure is a clear nod to Jimenez's love for traditional Mexican muralists and the bright colors that he could have encountered as a boy growing up and working in his father's sign shop in El Paso, Texas. However, the unique texture and the use of stylized exaggeration in the piece is something that Jimenez is most known for, and has better yet imparted upon a new generation of artists inspired by his style. He was a forefather of the lowbrow and the urban art movement, who's with those styles showing through in the Blue Mustang. Even the rearing of the horse is used to symbolize the freedom that the Southwest has to offer all who come to visit. Now, still, Blucifer is most well known for the luminous red eyes. The red eyes juxtaposed against its blue body and deeply set in the head, and the horse looking out towards the Rocky Mountains. Driving keeper for those heading towards or away from the city. Even in the dead of night, when the body of the sculptor is invisible against the road surrounding the eyes of Blucifer, their unwavering light bright red eyes for everyone to see as they pass. So basically, at night, when people are riding past, Blucifer's eyes are like a bright red. They're illuminated, right? And I'm sure it looks pretty creepy. And I'm going to show you some pictures of Blucifer in a minute. Now, the name Blucifer was bestowed upon Jimenez's sculpture by locals shortly after its unveiling. A combination of the names Blue from its original name, Blue Mustang, and the name Lucifer from the archangel who fell from heaven and now rules the underworld. Seemed fitting at the time and appropriate for the unveiled demon horse who rears tall outside Denver's airport. Now, although there was initially loud and outspoken distaste online and in the media for the Blue Mustang following its unveiling in February of 2008, commissions in the city of Denver are typically guaranteed to be on display for 5 years. Only then, after the 5-year waiting period, can works even be brought before the city's commission or cultural affairs with a legitimate request and petition for the piece to be removed. No such petition has ever been brought forth since 2013. And the 5 years of Blucifer being all together. So let me show you this Blucifer. And I think people have said that Blucifer is cursed, right? Because when the screw tube is acting up, buffering, I'm sure I see it, it's buffering on my end too, beloveds. So with that all being said, when Blucifer was being created or being sculpted, like I told you, he fell over. Now, can you imagine how big this thing is? It weighs 9,000 pounds. It fell over on Jimenez when he was making it and severed an artery in his leg, right? He bled to death. And so that right there, let me tell you something. If I had commissioned him to make something like that, first of all, whoever commissioned him to make this clearly is into Satanism. I'm just saying, why would you want a demon horse? But let me show you this picture of it. Let me show you this picture of it because it looks really creepy as far as I'm concerned. Now, let me zoom in so you can get a good look. And then notice the glowing red eyes. This is what you see late at nights when you ride past the Denver airports. Okay? Clearly scary. Clearly scary, people. So anyway, everyone, please get the likes up. Please get the likes up. So we're going to talk a bit more about it. And they show how it was being sculpted and all of that. Now they say, is the horse a killer? Is the horse a killer? This is what someone wanted to know. They wanted to know more about the inspiration that led New Mexico artist Luis Jimenez to create the stallion and what exactly happened with the artist and his ultimate demise. The sculpture did kill the creator. That part is true. But is it cursed? Now, Luis Jimenez died in 2006, and at the time of his death, he was 65 years old. So he was old to be creating this sculpture, especially by himself, right? And so after a part of the Mustang came loose And like I said, it fell on him and severed the artery in his leg, and he bled to death. There are three main sections that make up the massive sculpture. That's the head, the torso, and the hind quarter. And shortly before his passing, the artist had declared the head, that section was done, completed. He later completed, Jimenez's studio later completed the Mustang and installed it more than 15 years after it was commissioned. There have been a number of delays in the sculpture, which led to lawsuits, and finally made its debut in 2008. So let me show you this picture, because this is like a close-up of the face. Looks very demonic. I don't know why anybody would want this. I'm serious. Look at that. That clearly looks creepy. Okay? Clearly looks creepy, people. So anyway, so the red eyes, though people point to this as evidence of the Mustang's demonic nature, they're actually an attribute or a tribute to the artist's father. They say that Jimenez was born in El Paso, Texas in 1940, and as a child, he apprenticed at his father's neon sign shop. There he learned how to wield and paint. His widow, Susan Jimenez, said that he often told stories about working alongside his dad, how he would come home with his hands marred by the work. His father would say, "This is how he learns." So he grew up with this strong tradition of working with his hands. And so he was also into architecture. And the main thing is this. When they wanted him to make the horse, they wanted him to make it like the horse was bucking, like a cowboy is riding a blue bucking horse. You know how horses stand up on their hind legs and all of that? Yeah, so that's how they wanted it to look. They felt like that would make it look more frightening, you know, and terrifying. And they wanted the eyes to be this illuminescent, bright red. But that's why some people think that the horse is a demon that is cursed or possessed, right? Because some people have said they have ridden past it late at night and the eyes are so bright red and the horse turns and looks at them. People have said all kinds of stories. And I don't know if these people are telling the truth, but they have said they felt like an evil presence when they rode past the horse. People have said all types of things. That's the devil evil. Absolutely. I believe so. Got demon looking stuff. Okay. But yes, it is very nefarious. I mean, it just looks evil and wicked. And they call it the heinous Blue Mustang. And some people want to get rid of it. They said it's got to go. And I'm going to tell you what it reminds me of. Let me just to give you an idea of how big this thing is, let me show you this picture right here with these two guys standing in front of it. It kind of puts me in the mind of, hold on. Okay, I want you all to see this so you can get an idea. Do you see how they're standing and you only see like part of the legs? That gives you an idea of just how huge it has to be. Now that's crazy, right? But the fact that it was commissioned and they wanted it put there for all to see, and they have like a plaque that tells you about it, it kind of reminds me of the Georgia Guidestones that I went to visit. Remember, R.C. Christian was commissioned to build that as well. And there's a plaque out there as well. It's like, who's commissioning these people to go around putting up these demonic things? I'm just curious. Okay? I'm just curious. So with that all being said, everyone please get the likes up. Hold on just a moment, people. I'm looking for something. I'm trying to see if I can find exactly what that plaque says. Okay, here it is, I think. Let me see. Okay, now I want you all to see this. I'm going to show you all this one more picture because these are some crazy looking images of this demon horse, as they call it. And let me tell you something, it got its name BLUCIFER, not only because it's big and blue and looks so wicked, but because of the stories that people have told about it, saying that they've ridden past at night and the eyes, you know, they can feel an evil presence in the eyes, or saying that the horse turned and looked at them. All kinds of weird things. So I hope you all can see that. That looks real crazy, right? Let me read some of the comments. Hell, that devil horse might fall on your car when passing by. Right. Okay. Wow, that's so weird. Yes, absolutely. And you have to ask yourself, Queen, there's a theory that the Illuminati has a secret base underground. I wouldn't be surprised. I would absolutely not be surprised. Okay. I saw a show years ago and they showed these underground homes that people had built under there. Okay. There most definitely are underground bases all over the world that the elites utilize for their nefarious purposes. Absolutely. Which horse from Revelations is that? And is that airport with the mural? That's not a horse from the Revelations. You know, you're talking about the 4 horses of the apocalypse. Yeah, that's not one. That's just something they concocted themselves, whoever commissioned Jimenez to make that. That is creepy. Looks like it will come to life at any point. And some people have said that it has come to life. I'm glad you brought that up, Creator Rashida. Some people have said that when they were riding past at night and they saw that horse from the distance, it did come to life. They said that it moved, that it put its legs down, that it went back up and bucked, that the head turned, and all sorts of things. Okay? People have said these things. Like demonic spirits flow. Absolutely, Terry. That horse looks crazy as hell. Says favorable child. Okay. Had to go out and come back in. I'm sorry, beloved. You know how Screwtube does. I don't know why it's doing that. Got demon looking stallion. Okay, so anyway, this is all so crazy. I'm trying to, my chat keeps stopping. The entire airport is creepy. You know, I've never been to the Denver airport, but I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, it would have to be creepy with that demonic figure there, right? That seems very strange. You might know, you know that the devil has power too, so it might be his. Absolutely. I thought it was this airport. I knew I had read about this a couple of years ago. This is a lot of conspiracy theories surrounded around that particular airport. Mm-hmm. There was a white horse, red horse, black horse, and green horse in Revelations. Yes. Mm-hmm, absolutely. And upon the white horse, death sat upon him. And the green horse represented pestilence and death and famine. Right? You know what? The 4 horses of the apocalypse, I actually did a story about that on my channel that got terminated. I absolutely did. I'm going to have to do that again. Blue is my favorite color. Why are they messing up that color? Oh, that horse needs to be burned. Let me tell you something. Some of those people in the town of Denver, some people that live in Denver, they do want it burned. They want it taken down. They feel like it's brings a negative energy. You know, like there's this demonic energy emanating from it. Okay. And like I said, some people have said that they've seen the horse moving and things. And some people have said that when they rode past, they smelled like sulfur and boiled eggs and like this pungent smell. And I told you all before, that is the smell of low vibrational malevolent beings and spirits, like i.e. demons. Okay. Queen, check out the children of It's Real Out Here YouTuber. He did a piece on this horse. Children of It's Real Out Here. Okay, thank you, beloved. Thank you. Not just driving by. You can see and feel the energy from the pics alone. Absolutely, absolutely. So anyway, look at the mass shooting in Colorado. Absolutely. But I want you all to pay attention. Not only the mass shooting in Colorado, right? Do you all notice that many mass shootings happen in Colorado? Did anybody ever think about that? I just told you all this the other day when I was talking about that shooting that happened recently. Remember, I told you all many shootings happen in Colorado, mass shootings, more so than most places. You remember I told you all that? Desmond, this is 726. Okay, I'm going to make you a mod, but let me tell you what happened, Desmond. I know you were in this chat last night, but when I went back and watched through the chat to try to add you as a mod, I couldn't see your name. I couldn't find it. Maybe I overlooked it, but I'll do it tonight. You're in the chat at 726, so I'll go back and add you when this live ends. Thank you, beloved. But so anyway, people, that's the story of Lucifer. Yes, I did. I said everything has been happening in Colorado. Yes, absolutely. Okay, they're trigger happy over there. And I hope the egg smell is just my O2 bank one sensor on my car. I know it's off subject, but God purchased those Satan shoes. He threw them away. He said that he felt anxiety attack and dark devil feeling. Oh, you know what? I'm not surprised, Millie. And what did he think? Millie, what was that on? Where did you find that information? Because I want to read that. Did someone post it on their Instagram or something? Very interesting. See, here's the thing. Those shoes actually sold out within a minute. $1,000 shoes with devil, satanic stuff and blood in the soles. Okay, let me tell y'all something. Now, I don't know if I told you all this on my spiritual channel yet, More Than Meets the Third Eye, but you all do know that when, spirituality is connected to your body, to your being, right? So that all being said, the soles of your feet, the sole of your feet is where they get the word soul, like your soul, right? Because your feet lift you up, right? That's how you get around. So when they're talking about putting blood, a drop of blood in the sole of those shoes, you don't think they're talking about snatching up souls? I'm just saying. Thank you, Millie. Thank you, beloved. You don't think that's talking about snatching up souls and all of that, or taking your soul or whatever? I'm just saying, sounds plausible to me. Okay, so that's all crazy. So anybody going out there buying those darn shoes, let me tell you something. They best not be surprised when they see stuff floating around their house. When they start hearing growlings and scratchings inside the wall, those are all signs of demonic infestation. Okay? Infestation. All right? They better not be surprised when they hear somebody knock on the door 3 times in the middle of the night and they go look and nobody's there. They best not be surprised, because when you do things like that, engage in satanic and nefarious practices such as blood in shoes, human blood, mind you, from people you don't even know. You don't know what kind of spirit those people had. They could be a couple of witches for all you know. Right? But you got that blood in your shoes and you walking around with those shoes and bringing those shoes in your house. That's clearly crazy in my opinion. And at the end of the day, you don't know what kind of ritual, satanic practices, if any, that they did on the shoes or that the person engages in, what kind of energy they have. So when you allow things like that into your presence and in your house and across your threshold, you open up portals, okay? You open up portals, and I don't mean to anywhere good. So that's just all crazy. I would have sold them on eBay. Honey, I would have never bought them to sell them anywhere. No, thank you. Thanks, but no thanks. Let me tell you something. He couldn't give me a pair of those shoes for free. That's what he couldn't do. They are about to be walking around crazy. Make sure you have the ruach of black people. Putting spiritual incantations onto objects. Yes. The blood exactly possessed, agreeing to their practices. Absolutely. Absolutely. Let me tell you all something. I was in the hospital one time. Do you all realize that a hospital is one of the most haunted places? Did that ever occur to anybody? One of the most haunted places, in my opinion, of course. Because, in hospitals, people die. People transition. And when they transition, the soul literally leaves your body, right? The soul literally leaves the person's body. And with that all being said, I was in the hospital one time. There was a woman, a Karen, in the room with me, and she was possessed by demons. She was clearly possessed by demons. I'm going to tell you how I know. She was talking crazy, saying all kinds of weird stuff, just talking like, you know, the average person might have thought she was just out of her head or whatever. No, she was a demon. She had a demon in her. And every night, there would be a nurse that had to come and stay in our room, that would sit in the chair and watch her. So one night I asked one of the nurses, because there was different ones each night, and I asked one of them, I said, why do you all have to watch her every night? And she said, because she's weird. You know, they think she may do something to herself or whatever. She talks in different voices and different personalities. I said, that's demons. And she said, yeah, I know it is. She said, that's why I don't like being in this room with her. She has demons. And when she said that, I already knew that she had demons. I suspected it, right? And I told him, I don't want to be in here with her. She's up in here possessed by demons, talking crazy out of her head and all that. I'm in here with her. Please, okay? Clearly, I wanted to be removed. But I tell you what, why in the world did they hire her and allow her to work there? No, Creator Rashida. Not the nurse. The nurse wasn't the problem. It was the woman who was in the hospital, who was admitted in the hospital. She was sharing a room with me. The nurses had to come and watch her every night for the simple fact they knew something was wrong with her and they didn't trust her to not do something crazy. So they would have a nurse come and sit there for hours until the morning, right? They would switch shifts or whatever, but they had a nurse always sitting there with her at night because she was possessed by demons. Now, they didn't tell me that, but that's what I knew. I could feel the evil, wicked spirits. And then when I would hear her saying all these crazy things, it was clearly demon talk, right? And it was the patient. And then I'm going to tell you about something else too. Like I said, hospitals are very weird places where, all types of demonic energy, because when people die, some of those people are demonic. Some of those people have demons attached to them. Some of those people are possessed by demons. So there's clearly negative energy in hospitals, right? There was a nurse that told me one time, there was a friend of mine who was a nurse, and she told me one time that she was in a break room, taking her break, and she decided to take a nap because, nurses work like 12-hour shifts sometimes or whatever. And so she was really tired. So rather than eat, she was going to take a nap in the break room. She went in the break room and she laid her head down and she heard a growling noise and she looked up and she saw like a figure. She said she tried to get up. She tried to scream. She tried to move. She could not move. She was like frozen, like paralyzed. She couldn't say anything or any of that for like 30 minutes that she was in there by herself. As soon as somebody else walked in, it's like it was gone. And she was able to get up. So that's all crazy, right? Best facts, Queen. I work in a nursing home. I hear spirits talking all the time. They make noises and they knock stuff off the walls, honey. I hope you carry your sage up in there because trust me, I would not be in there by myself working at night. You need to carry your sage. Hospitals are very haunted. Yes. And I'll tell you something else. I was in a hospital one time and I remember I was younger, right? I remember I was in the hospital one time and I was asleep and I kid you not, something grabbed me by my ankles and pulled me towards the end of the bed. And I woke up and looked and nobody was there. And I told the nurse when she came in and then she started telling me stories. So it was all crazy, honey. It's all crazy. Definitely a demon was present. Absolutely. Absolutely. What she thought going to sleep in the death club. It's not healthcare. It's the death care in those places. Some think they are psychic patients. Mm-hmm. You need to get TV these stories. That's okay. I'm good. Okay, so anyway, people, I'm gonna go ahead and let's see. It's good to know afterlife is not the end. Oh yes, absolutely. It's not the end. It's a transition. Let me tell you what I believe in, people. I really believe. See, the reason I don't fear death is because, as far as I'm concerned, death is just a transition. It's like you leave this world, this realm, and you enter into another one, right? And your avatar, this shell that we call our body, this avatar may die, but the soul, the spirit is going to live, right? And so that all been said, there's no need to fear death. It's just another phase of life as far as I'm concerned. No wonder our ancestors didn't want to go to the hospital. Absolutely. Right? So with that all being said, I'm going to conclude this broadcast. I hope you all like the story about Lucifer. If you're ever in the Denver area, make sure that you go and check him out and get a scare, right? So anyway, I'm going to conclude, and I want to ask you all to please like and share the video. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Don't forget to tune in again tomorrow night, because I will be right back on here. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram at QueenAhmadiyyah, on Instagram at divine_goddess_27, on Twitter at dgoddess27, and on Patreon and Brighton at QueenAhmadiyyah. So until next time, people, I will talk to you all again soon. Peace.